Hey, what up, y'all? This is not a podcast. It's just my comic book thoughts, man. When you see the blue background, you know what it is, okay? I want to hear from y'all, though, because I've been debating creating a separate channel for the comic book content. I'm still doing the comic book content. I'm not going to stop. There's absolutely going to be comic book content because I love it. But I wonder if I hurt the health of my channel doing music and then comic book, which honestly more people come to me for music. People are less interested in the comic book stuff. Do I hurt the health of the channel? Should I separate them? If somebody kind of knows how YouTube works in the inner workings, let me know. But I want to get right into it. You know, San Diego Comic-Con, mad people are hitting me up like, yo, Rob, what you think? Yo, Rob, what you think? San Diego Comic-Con, it was just announced today, or depending on when you watch this, but on Saturday, that the next Avengers movie is coming out in May 2026. The Russo brothers are directing it. It's called Avengers Doomsday, right? And then after that comes Secret Wars in 2027. That means they moved on officially from the Kang dynasty. I have thoughts about that. But that's not even the biggest news. The biggest news, I'm burying the headline right here, is that Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the MCU. Not returning as Iron Man. He's going to be playing Dr. Doom. What the hell is going on? Like, I don't know. I'm excited that Robert Downey Jr. is back with the MCU. Like, he was amazing as Tony Stark. I think RDJ really was the cornerstone, just built the Marvel Universe, right? They built it off the back of the Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, what Iron Man meant. We just came off of Deadpool and Wolverine, right? And the concept of anchor beings, like Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man is an anchor being, right? Like an anchor for the whole franchise for the first 10 plus years. So him coming back is exciting. Him coming back as Dr. Doom has me confused because, and look, we'll get into, and I'm also confused by the variants, the multiverse, the sacred timeline, all of this, right? And I have my thoughts on that. Regardless of where he ends up or how they explain that he is Dr. Doom, the fact that seeing him on camera as Dr. Doom, like he's already Tony Stark. To me, like I don't know how you explain that the biggest superhero in Marvel in the movies, right, is now the biggest supervillain, because let's not get it twisted. Dr. Doom is the quintessential villain in the Marvel comics. And, I think he's going to be bigger than Thanos. Like, Thanos was really kind of like a B character, a B villain. Like, definitely Infinity Gauntlet was a big thing. But in the comic book, if you compare Thanos and Dr. Doom, they don't compare. Like, Dr. Doom, I'm just talking about in terms of popularity, how they're regarded in the universe. Dr. Doom is a cornerstone of the Marvel universe in the comics. So I just don't understand how they're going to explain that we see the same face as both. Now, there's a chance that Robert Downey Jr. never shows his face and Dr. Doom keeps the mask on the whole time. Well, that's a lot of money to pay for a voice. You know what I'm saying? To do voiceover work, and he'll do costume work. So that'll be interesting. There was a storyline, the infamous Iron Man is a storyline where Dr. Doom became Iron Man. Like, he found Stark's stuff. Like, Dr. Doom becomes Iron Man in this storyline. Maybe this is some type of reverse that, but I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is playing any variation of Tony Stark. It sounds like he's playing, Victor Von Doom, Dr. Doom. I'm sure Marvel knows that fans are freaking out, and honestly, like, I'm not like a pessimist. I'm a fan. So I go into these things very optimistically, like I'm hyped for all of this, but I'm legit confused, and I'm sure they'll find a way to explain it in the movies, but and they'll use the multiverse to do it. But my problem with the multiverse is this. And I wish I had it. I didn't say it publicly because I wasn't doing comic book content then, but I was in my group chat earlier, and a couple of years ago when Marvel first introduced that the multiverse was going to be a thing, in the next couple of phases. I was like, man, I'm afraid because the multiverse becomes a crutch. Just like in the comic books, the multiverse becomes a crutch so that they can retcon things, they can erase mistakes that they made, they move hastily with the storytelling, and well, you could be like, oh, that was just a variant. Oh, that was another universe. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a crutch. And already it seems that Marvel obviously made a mistake with Kang. You know, like with Jonathan Majors, obviously also got into trouble. So I feel that, but couldn't they have recast Kang? Like even before Jonathan Majors got into trouble, the Kang situation was getting real confusing. The multiverse situation was getting real confusing between Loki and Multiverse of Madness and Ant-Man. Like it just like wasn't adding up. And of course, these are fantasy superhero movies, so you always have to suspend your belief, always. But this started becoming like more than usual. It brings me to Deadpool Wolverine, which was great. I saw it twice. Like after I did the first video, I went back. I saw it again. I saw it twice this weekend. I thought Deadpool Wolverine was amazing. Deadpool Wolverine didn't solve any of the problems of the confusion of what's going on in the MCU right now. Now, me personally, and you know, I've been speaking to a lot of my friends who were disappointed by that fact. Me personally, I didn't expect Deadpool Wolverine to solve any of those problems. You know, what I enjoyed about Deadpool Wolverine is they poked fun at the problems. Like Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds said, like there's a scene, you know, right before they fight the Deadpool Corps, I believe, when he's just like, yo, this multiverse thing isn't working. Like, take the L and move on. So maybe that's what Marvel, you know, maybe that's what Marvel is doing. You know, the whole Deadpool Wolverine movie was funny. To me, it poked like so much fun at the ridiculousness of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the adjoining universes from Fox. You know, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four. To me, it poked fun at that. Like, it kind of said what all of us fans were thinking, and you know, they gave a finality to it. You know, the fact that Chris Evans played both Captain America and Human Torch. Now, granted, that was a Fox movie versus a Marvel movie, but as a fan sitting there in the theater, like, I know the difference, but my wife doesn't know the difference. My kids don't necessarily know the delineation between the Fox movie rights and the Disney movie rights and how Disney acquired Fox. Like, I'm sitting there in the movie theater and I had to explain this to my kids, you know, to my family. Like, oh, this is why this joke is like, so the average moviegoer doesn't see it. So to me, Deadpool was the ultimate fan service movie because it gave the fans everything they want. And it kind of spoke for those of us that was like, hey, like, yo, it's getting kind of ridiculous now with what's going on. How do you explain all of this? And so I didn't expect Deadpool Wolverine to solve any of the problems. You know, they could completely be moving off of the multiverse saga. And maybe Deadpool, you know, is that, like, specifically that scene when he was like, hey guys, like, just take the L and move on. But it's been an L, and you can't just blame it on Jonathan Majors. I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, Jonathan Majors got in trouble, that killed all the plans for Kang, and they had to back off. The fact of the matter is that there was a lot going on even without Jonathan Majors that just didn't make any sense. I mean, the one thing is, after the Infinity Saga, Marvel should just restart it. You know, one of the things is this that we forget is that Infinity Saga took about 10 years. They slow cooked that. That's why that was so good. There was so many seeds planted. It was a slow build to the story. And it wasn't a perfect build. There were things that kind of were shaky along the way. But for the most part, they did a fantastic job building up to Infinity War and then Endgame. And the payoff was amazing. But they slow cooked that. All right. What happened is, you know, in my eyes is that, you know, then we started getting more movies. We started getting more properties. We started getting Disney Plus. You know, Disney acquired Fox. And all of a sudden, these movies that make $1 billion, now they need them to make $5 billion to justify the money that was spent, probably to satisfy shareholders. So all of a sudden they opened the floodgates. Disney Plus, they wanted to put into the marketplace and compete with Netflix and Hulu and whatever else was out there, right? So, just let's throw a bunch of shows at it. I hope that Agatha is good, but again, as a fan of the comics, I never asked for an Agatha series. Like I don't know who wants to see that. Look, Brave New World, you all heard the reports, or if you haven't, but Brave New World, the trailer looks great with the Red Hulk. There's a lot of excitement around that. But they did the test screening where the audience wasn't feeling it and some audience members walked out. They had to reshoot that movie. Like there's been problems with that movie. There's been problems with Blade. Hey, guess what? We didn't need an Eternals movie. Nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for an Eternals movie. And how much did that cost to make? I mean, you got Angelina Jolie in it. You got Salma Hayek in it. Like, we didn't need. I'm still like, what was Eternals about? How does that fit in? And it also doesn't need to fit in. You can have a standalone, but they've built this expectation that everything ties together, and there's no payoff for watching the Eternals. It wasn't a great flick anyway, and then there's no payoff. Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't great. Like, wasn't good. Like, I left Thor: Love and Thunder like highly disappointed in that movie. I'm worried. I'm not sold on Robert Downey Jr. I think Marvel wanted him back. Obviously, he is the biggest star that Marvel has ever had. He is a box office draw. People will go to see this movie. I will go to see this movie. So all of this doesn't even matter because they already have my money. So I'm going to go see it for sure. So Robert Downey Jr. is a big draw, but it's looking like and it's sounding like, based off of what he said in the past, that he just doesn't want to play Iron Man anymore. Like, he's exhausted the character. But he's a box office draw, so hey, let's offer him a different character, which is Doctor Doom, which is again the biggest villain in the Marvel universe. So, also too, we got Fantastic Four coming up, right? And we already know this takes place in the 1960s. There's some multiverse thing going on here too. Look, I'll wait for it all to be unfold. I will be happy to be wrong. I want to enjoy these movies. I want to go and enjoy these movies. But I see Robert Downey Jr. on that stage as Dr. Doom, and I have questions. That's all I'm saying. We'll see how it unfolds. I mean, we got to wait till 2026, so we're still 2 years away. I want to be wrong. And, of course, Doomsday, so Dr. Doom is going to lead into Secret Wars, so that makes a lot of sense. I think they're going to do not the original Secret Wars run in the 80s, but the more recent Secret Wars. I think this would be based on. And Dr. Doom was central in that. So we'll see. But I want to know what y'all think. Like, subscribe, leave the comments, man. Let me know what y'all thinking. But I'm scratching my head on this one, all right?